Okay, hi, welcome to another Yu-Gi-Oh deck profile, and this time this is going to be for my first place Flundereeze deck profile. I was actually amazed about that I was able to get first place with this. I know it's really good and stuff, but no luck, I was expecting something else to happen. But in any case, this is the deck that I came first with. So yeah, 3 different Tri-Brigade decks, and I was able to beat all of them, and then just 1 Despia and even a Swordsoul deck I was able to do pretty well against. Anyway, so we'll just get straight into it. So for the small birds, we're going kind of around the standards. So 3 Robin, 3 Eaglen, around 2 Stri, and then 1 Toccan. So basically, they all share effects. So if they get banished when they leave the field, if they're banished when you normal summon a winged beast, then you get to add these back from the banished area to the hand. And then on the normal summon, they get an effect. So Robina as a rotor gets a level 4 or lower winged beast. Eaglen searches a level 7 or higher. Stri targets a card in any graveyard, banishes it, and Toccan recycles one of your Flundereeze banished cards and gets it back. And then after that happens, you immediately get another normal summon as part of the same chain. So they pop like crazy with one another. It's just really mental what they do there. Then for the tribute Forter, we've got 2 Empen and 1 Snowl for like the Floowandereeze tributes. So Empen is the sort of the main boss of the deck. Gets you a search of any of your Floowandereeze spell or traps on tribute summon, and acts the floodgate to stop your opponent from activating their special summoned attack position monster effects. So basically any links is all like shut off, and then it has the additional effect where during the battle phase, if it battles, it can banish a card from the hand to halve your opponent's monster's attack, and it's a non-targeting effect as well, so that's pretty cool. So you could go against Dragoon or something and then just go ham. And the good thing about these is that they can actually chain block your opponent from stopping you from doing anything, depending on the thing they have. So let's say they had an Ash in hand to try and stop you. If you had Robina in hand, then the Eaglen banished, you could chain 1 Robina to get the search, then chain 2 Eaglen in the same chain in order to get this back to stop this from being ashed. And it just works crazy like that. And then the Snowl is, it basically gives you 2 extra normal summons in the turn, and it gives you 3 normal summons rather than just 1. It can do piercing for all your tribute summon monsters, and then it has a quick effect where you can banish a card from the hand to basically Book of Eclipse all of your opponent's special summoned monsters, which is really cool and just works in tandem with it. So just get them all face down and then just poke over them and just all do damage. And that's it for the Floowandereeze monsters. And then for extra things, we have the 1 Barrier Statue of the Stormwinds, which basically kind of goes in tandem with these guys that usually normal summon things, and then normal summon this wing beast to lock your opponent to only summoning winds, so they have to attack into it or just basically stop you from being Nibiru'd. And then the 1 Rise of the Mega Monarch, which you use during your opponent's turn. You basically tribute summon it, and then its effect is that you get to target a card on the field and in either graveyard to put back to the top of the deck. And then if you tribute summon using a wind, which you have with Eaglen and Toccan, these 2 are actually water, so you just got to be mindful of that you can target an additional card on the field if you wanted to. So you have that as an extra thing, and obviously just using this during your opponent's turn is nuts, just to completely stall them out of what they try and do. And then we run hand traps as well. We've got 3 Ash, 3 D Shifter, and then 3. Let's get a hold of it. 3 Nibiru. This saved me. This was helpful to me so many times when I was playing, and be able to get me too many victories from just being able to stop my opponent from doing stuff. Just be mindful though that you can't special summon the turn you use any of the effects of the small Floowandereeze. So it can't be a case that you can go full hand with your combos and then your opponent tries to do something, you could then Nibiru. You've got to be mindful that you've got to do all this stuff during your turn, and if they stop you with a Dark Ruler No More or something with the Barrier Statue, then you can Nibiru after then. D-Shift is just very good because a lot of cards like graveyard stuff, but this essentially puts a stop to that, and then Ash is obviously just a very good hand trap as it is. And that's it for the monster lineup. So for spells, we have the 3 key card of the deck, which is the Magnificent Map. So what it is that you can reveal a level 1 Floowandereeze from your hand, banish a differently named Floowandereeze card from your deck, and it can be any card, so it doesn't have to be the monster, it could be a spell or trap if you so desired. So you could use it in tandem with Toccan to recycle it back. And then immediately after that effect resolves, you get to normal summon the revealed monster. And then there's another effect during your opponent's turn where if they normal summon anything, you can normal summon a Floowandereeze. So basically it just kind of goes ham with that to basically try and say, are you going to do something? I'm going to try and stop you with that. And then the other Floowandereeze spell we have is the 1 Unexplored Winds, which essentially acts as a semi-Monarch Stormforth. If you tribute summon using 2 tributes, you can use a card your opponent controls. So it's any card, not just a monster, which is helpful for certain back row removal if you're able to summon during their turn. And it has another effect. You can return up to 2 wing beasts from your hand back to the bottom of your deck, and then draw an equal number of cards. So it just helps get rid of bricks if needs be. Although it's very difficult to in this deck in most cases. Anyway, and then for draw power, we run the 3 Duality, and then this would be 3 Prosperity, but I don't have the third one yet, so I'm basically running Extravagance, which it was actually funny. In one game, I basically opened up Extravagance, Prosperity, and Duality, and if you go in that order, it doesn't conflict with anything, because these two stop you from drawing cards, but this one adds, and this one adds, so you don't have any problems there. And it's crazy, because you don't use the extra deck for anything, so these don't impact you more in any sort of circumstance. In that department, so this is just great. But you could easily replace this with a 3rd Prosperity if you wanted to. But you could run if you wanted to, you could be creating like run 2 extra, 2 Prosperity and 2 Duality or something. There's no reason not to run these. They're just that they're that good for this deck. And then just some one-offs. The 1 Terraform to get your field spell, 1 Gold Sark, which helps you to get one of your level 1s out of the deck, so you can chain block if you have another one in hand. Call by the Grave, because we hate hand traps. And then the final thing, I'm just going to do these sort of together, because they are one-offs and they do work together. My personal tech, I like to run the 1D Fissure and Macrocosmos. So Fissure basically helps with if your opponent's maining Droll, because the effect where it sends itself from hand to grave can't be used if deep Fissure's in effect. There's like a weird ruling with it to say you can't actually resolve that condition. So this kind of helps with stopping those kind of problems. Macrocosmos is anything sent, just any card sent from to the graveyard is banished instead. So it's mental that way. So you don't have to always rely on D-Shift if you need to do that, because decks still like to have their graveyards if possible. And then the final traps of the deck, we have the 2 Dreamtown, which is it gives you a normal summon level 4 lower wing beast, and if you tribute summon, you can banish this from the graveyard to Book of Eclipse or of your opponent's. I believe it's special summon monsters. Oh no, just all monsters. So that's pretty good. And again, that works in tandem with Snowl, whenever they win. There you go. Just you contribute summon that, and use this, banish it, they flip all their stuff down, and then you could just poke over into damage. And then the one thing which actually helped me out a lot as well today, in the event, was the 1 Scary Sea. So essentially what this is it's like a Compulse combined with a Vanity's Emptiness combined with a Solemn Mourning. So what it is that when your opponent tries to special summon something, then you can use, and you have a tribute summon monster, you've got to make sure of that. You negate the summon, bounce the monster, then they're knocked out of special summons for the rest of the turn, and they get 3 normal summons. So basically, if you have this, combined with an Empen, combined with a map, combined with like a Floowandereeze in hand, then you can just stop your opponent from doing anything that turn if they don't have like an out. Which more often than not, stuff like this they don't, because obviously stuff like Red Reboot's at 1, so you can just stop them dead in their tracks. And this was actually very helpful against Swordsoul's. They just try and normal summon the same attack over the Barrier statue. They try and synchro summon, you just flip this up, and then you just return the synchro monster back to the extra deck. It's mental. It's crazy about what you can do with it. So yeah, and that's it for the main deck. This is a 41 card deck, but honestly, it doesn't make much of a difference with that in the overall game state. Sideboarding, you can kind of vary it however you want to. I've got a couple of different Tribute Forter cards. We've got the 1 Apex Avian. Some people like to main this. It's generally fine, it's just a negate if needs be. And then Dark Simorgh for like back row heavy decks. Just if you can go first with this, just summon this. They can't set anything. So they're locked out of trying to do anything if they're trying to stall out. 2 Token Collector. This is for Swordsoul's. Just basically whenever they get their token for their level 4 one, you special summon this and destroys all tokens on the field, and then neither player can special summon tokens, so they're kind of stuck then. One thing that I might possibly change, 3 Lancea. This was meant to be for like the side, like the mirror matches and things, but I might potentially swap this out with something maybe like a crossout designator to basically just it stops the opponent's Floowandereeze from going off during their turn, and then you just basically get them back during your turn when you can use them. But you can vary however you want to. This could be Drolls if you wanted to. It could be Skullmeisters. It could be anything. So it's fine, but just there's variations that you could do with it. 3 Dark Ruler No More. This is basically just to deal with like break my board cards, and I didn't have to use this I think at all today, so that was no worries there. And then back row here, I've got 3 Cyclone and Feather Duster. I never had to use these at all. Just I didn't really get too worried about back row because they would sort of go full ham anyway. And then I just had 1 space spare, so I had an Imperm just stuck in there just to see what happened. And I actually drew this quite a few times, and it helped me out more often than I was expecting. So yeah, that's that's it with the sideboard. And then the extra deck is essentially just a hodgepodge of monsters. So you can actually make a good stuff max if you had 2 Empen on board and you didn't, you know, do it during your turn for the normal summons. And then you can go into Lever. So I run like 2 of those each. Mostly it's just like 2 obs. I've got 2 Ferrogy, just if we're going against Dogmatica, and then the you can basically just dig through your deck. 1 Nova, again, just the same reason for Dogmatica stuff, to give you a Mecha Buff for free. And then 2 copies of Intis, if you just to pop things, and then 2 Shureg, which just gets you more searches of your Floowandereeze if you have anything banished. Like I said, just got multiple copies of everything there, so it doesn't really change anything. And then just the final tech I have is the 1 Cyclone Lord Omega. Again, just Dogmatica stuff, because the people really underestimate this card in this format. It's just, if your opponent has something in their graveyard they're trying to use for their next turn, you just basically just have this engraved and then just, you know, spin it back. If you're going against like Invoke Dogmatica, then they have a Invocation engraved and a banished Alistair. You just basically spin the Invocation back and then it's kind of stuck. But yeah, that's essentially all that with the extra deck. You don't need it for anything. I've never went into it once and just used it for, you know, the extra and prosperity targets. It's pretty handy that way. And that is everything for my Floowandereeze deck. And like I said, I'm very happy the fact that this ended up working out as well as it did. And you know, this kind of thing you just can't complain about. So hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I shall catch you next time for whatever I do next. So long, take care.